So, I'm going to make a speech about the Sibyls. Can you hear me now? It feels really weird, this. I don't like it. Don't like it? I'll try. Okay, so I finished my degree course, it's a 3-year degree course in jewellery and silversmithing in the summer of 25 years ago. Some of the items from the show, you can see in those cases just there. They've got lots of faults, there's lots of fire stain, but don't look at it, it's the best thing not to. When you're at college, you don't sort of know much about all that sort of stuff. We got better after that. So, amongst all that are the Sibyls. The Sibyls are actually in that case over there. Those ones look like Sibyls, but they're not. They're the opposite things. They're wicked things, they're bad and awful. You can see, I've never shown them to anybody until this week, so they were part of the degree show, you know, it was kind of making a statement. So it's like, what's the most obvious thing on there? I don't know, but there's a horrible thing. No, I was thinking of the box. Look at the box, it says something like power, lust, rapacity. Whereas the other one says all sorts of nice things. That was the point of them. Okay, so I made the original Sibyls in pewter because I couldn't afford silver, and they lived in those boxes which I also made in brass and etched on them. And the Sibyls were etched with positive words, like the Sibyls themselves. And the idea was that you picked a word from your box, from the box, and that was your word to hang on to for the day or the month or whatever you wanted, so that you could focus on something positive, really. I've got to turn the page, I've got a glass of water in my hand, you know. There we go. So, when I went to college, and now, and forever, I was passionate about blatant inequality between women and men. And the theme of my degree show and dissertation addressed this issue in the context of historical inequality within the arts. I think they thought I was a bit of a hippie at college because I researched powerful goddesses and ancient images of strong women. And in my final essay, I pointed out that the senior lecturer of history of art had shown us 30 slides illustrating the work of what he considered to be significant designer jewellers. And not one of them was a woman, not one of them, 25 years ago. So when I was shuffling through all the stuff I was looking for to see what I was going to say tonight, I came upon my dissertation, and the title of that was Craftsmen, Craftswomen, or Craftspeople, ? An examination of inequality within the arts with particular reference to the history of women working as designer makers. And this is the final paragraph. And what about you, the male person or female person taught your critical skills by male people, reading the final paragraph of a 5,000-word essay of a 50-year-old female student? Like the inspiration. Can you influence the implementation of equal opportunities policies within your institution? Will you wonder if perhaps, after all, you don't fully understand the art of 52% of the population, but that in disregarding or marginalising it, you are denying yourself and your students a wealth of experience and perception of a world that is different from yours? So, I spent my 3 years at college. We are getting there, I think. Anyway, that's later. So I spent my 3 years at college immersed in learning about design and making things from metal. And the things I came up with, the images I came up with for my final show, were all about women and empowerment. Research had told me that in some societies, birds hold the spirits of the ancestors, and so I made those enamelled pink female heads with birds sitting on them, protecting the women. I really liked etching birds, as you can see right from the beginning, really, on the boxes and the Sibyls. And then I started writing on and on rings. It was a new idea of eternity, but with an ambiguous meaning, and that's what I've always looked for. And the Sibyls soon had loop loops, not hoops. Sybil's got loops put onto them. I made them first of all without loops, they just lived in the box. Then I made them with loops. They became something you could wear to remind you of how you wanted to be. And I chose those words with enormous care. I did only 21 of them because I couldn't have done sort of hundreds of words. It would have been impossible physically. And also 21 I thought was a magic number. So I was a hippie really. So when I started the business in October, 25 years ago, I packaged the Sybils in display boxes and sold them at trade fairs whilst I was developing my silver collection. I soon discovered that some of the words were unpopular. Particular responsibility and flexibility. I thought these were useful words. Not nice to know your sense of your own responsibility and things, but apparently if you were a teenager given that word by your mother, it wasn't such a good thing. So you do have to be careful when you give somebody a Sybil. Because it might, if you give somebody a Sybil that said listen on it, it might be they spoke too much, something like that. Anyway, okay. So the most popular words then were joyful and strong. I used to wear vision, powerful and calm, because they were all the things I really wanted to be within myself. No, that's wrong. Did I say powerful? Oh, that's right, powerful. I was always worried about saying powerful because it sounds like you have power over other people, like Trump or something. But it's to do with the power in because I was so bad at knowing my own power, like I think probably some of us still are. Anyway, most of you know that I started this lovely little business in my front room 25 years ago. And now you can see what's turned out. This beautiful shop and workshop at the back in the heart of Bristol, where 16 people help to run a business. It's extraordinary. And once I did absolutely everything myself. Like, for instance, I got the most expensive drill I could possibly get because it was quiet, so I could answer the phone at the same time. But now that I've got all these people helping, I do the things I love. I love etching words and textures into metal and meeting with the clients to talk about their potential designs. People bring all their old granny's jewels in old granny, I'm an old granny. I meant to say their granny's old jewels. Have I got to? I lost my place. Yes. Yes, so they would bring all their things. They still do. Lots of people bring their things and we make them into something new. Love doing that. And then also we add new designs to the collection. And I'm helped by other people with all of this, actually. And it's astonishing to think that from the humble Sybil, can you hear me still? Yes. From the humble Sybil beginnings, it says here, we now special in unusual and unique and different engagement rings. You'll see those over there. Extraordinary. It's really, really extraordinary. Amazing. But we do try to keep our integrity. And we were one of the first designers to produce the whole collection in fair trade gold. And we continue to source ethical and traceable stones and metal. So we're just continuing that. Because when I went to college, I just thought that silver and gold and platinum and everything were just pretty things. We had the whole idea of the things that people went through to produce these things, we hadn't even thought of. So, where am I? Yes, what I want to say is I'm so grateful. I'm very, very grateful to all the people who've helped me along the way. I was going to say a load of thank yous, and I may well actually, because there's an awful lot of people who've been through this business. I thought it was probably quite boring to say lots of thank yous, but there we are. I wanted to thank Tara, Alice and Jack, who I don't think are here. I thought they were coming. Don't they either of you here? Oh, on their way! Oh, sadness. And there's Sam! She was there at the beginning, or near the beginning. How long ago, Sam? 2000. Right. Yeah. So many people. So Tara was the first person who worked with me when I had too much work on and didn't know how to do it myself or by myself. Alice followed her and then stayed for 19 years. And she must have finished about 1,000 syllables, I should think, probably in her time. And then she left a few years ago and she started a really brilliant jewellery school in Bristol. And I know quite a few people go to her, and it's quite extraordinary, actually. I feel very proud about her. Where was I? And then there's Jax, who again isn't here, I don't think, but I thought she was going to come. She ran our workshop for 8 years, and more people joined it. And then she left to start her own bespoke jewellery business. Lots of people have done that. They've joined us in the workshop at the back, or before then it was in Montpellier and so on, and at home before that. And then they spend a few years with us, and then off they go, and they sometimes start their own business. In fact, most of them do. Most of them start their own collection. One person started a shop. Amazing, really. So it became a breeding ground, really, for graduate jewellers to gain experience, and it still is that, I think, to some extent. Most people have spent a good number of years, as I've said, before moving on, except for Zoya, who's still with us. Where are you, Zoya? Where? Hey! It's still working. Yes. Zoya's in her 18th year, I'm told, she tells me. And having started off making silver jewellery for a long time, she is now a highly skilled goldsmith making complex gold and platinum pieces. It's brilliant, wonderful, wonderful. It's how we can. And then I'd like to introduce you to the two other directors of this company, which it now is. This is Laura, in the beautiful green dress and the red hair. She runs the shop, chooses the 80 or so designers' work that we have in the shop, does the display, organises the exhibitions, organises this, and works with me and Claire to run the company. And where's Claire gone?
Yeah. To your right.
Where? Hey! Claire! Who was an answer to a prayer 12 years ago. And she runs the business and looks after us all impeccably and gently and beautifully. She's a star. She really is. I am so grateful to you both, I can't tell you. And then I also wanted to mention someone who's been with us the shortest time, under a year. I'd just like to acknowledge Giovanna. Where are you, Giovanna? There she is. Yes. She's not only a magnificent goldsmith, and with people like her and with Zoya, we're able to produce these amazing engagements and so on rings. Really complex stuff that I couldn't do now. And so she's only been with us a short time, but she runs the workshop, and she runs it with great kindness and skill and gentle authority. And I wanted to thank her. So I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by strong women here who've helped to grow the business. I don't think they're here either. And Mim definitely isn't. But Meryl and Mim, for instance, have come and gone for at least 20 years. They work full time and then they'd go off and go to India or somewhere, then they'd come back and then they'd work for a long time and then have a baby or something. Meryl's about to return to the shop actually after her second maternity leave. We've got loads of babies. Mim's now left the workshop to concentrate on her own jewellery collection, which is over here. It's very beautiful. And we also have Amy's collection. She's still with us. I don't think she's here though, is she? No. She came to do work experience with us 7 years ago, and then she went to college, did the 3-year course that I did, and then she came back. And her work is beautiful. She's going to be very famous. So, then there's Harriet. Are you here, Harriet? She's not here either. She just left us after 11 years of creatively promoting us, the website, social media and so on. And then Gabes, who's worked in the shop for 9 years and has just changed to becoming a member of the workshop. Where are you, Gabes? There he is. So I know that she was an amazing person for customers in the shop. Lots of people who know her well. But she wanted to make things, so she's now full-time in the workshop. Brilliant. And there are loads of others I haven't mentioned, and you must be bored out of your minds by now. There's at least 70 people who work here. We worked it out, Claire worked it out today. And I want to thank them all. And you know who you are. So, in celebration of this 25 years of Sybil's, I'm nearly finished with it, we've asked people to recount their own Sybil stories. I've been really touched to read about how the words have helped people through difficult times, or just reminded them to, this is life, or enjoy life, or whatever. I have my own Sybil story, which involves going to New York on a trade mission, but I won't tell you that right now. But it's quite interesting, it's quite fun. But I do actually believe that the Sybil's came from somewhere, and I was wearing all of them, and by the end of this trip to New York, the air stewardesses were taking me to their homes in Long Island, and it was just the most extraordinary thing, quite extraordinary. I took to see somebody else I wanted, like now I'm feeling more calm and really at the end. That's our Hazel here, she's a great friend of mine. And she went to where did we go? San Francisco. to a Crafts Council organised trade fair once. We had a bit of a time, didn't we? Whoops, at the airport. Whoops. She also found me Tara in the beginning as well. Such a friend. There was something else you've done for me, Hazel. I can't remember what it is. What?
Painted your picture.
And a bit of a beautiful piece of artwork over there. Of course. The one in the gold frame.
That was a few years ago.
That was a few years ago. Still does lovely art though. Okay, so that's that, celebration of blah. So today I'm wearing the new words. Here they are. Courage, voice, integrity, change, freedom, peace and equality. All words very relevant in our world now at the moment or now. On a personal level, I certainly needed courage and voice tonight. And integrity is what I strive for in this business. And freedom to come and go. Freedom from poverty, racism, to be able to speak your mind. All of this is coming out now, isn't it? For women anyway, particularly, I think. Gosh, 10 years ago, feminism was a really dirty word, actually. But now it's all coming to the fore and we're trying to establish our place beside each other. It's wonderful. It's a long way to go, I think. So there's equality, and we are getting there. Peace. We want that in ourselves and in the world, of course. The equality thing is so difficult. I mean, it's of course, we didn't have a vote. It's not that long ago in time. And in the 30s, my mum, who loved her job, had to leave when she was 25 just because she was getting married. It has changed since then. But there's still a way to go, I think. They're still paying women less than men for doing the same job. And so there's change. That's the middle one of this lot. Such a great thing, so much needed. Imagine what it would be like. So there we are. Do read the Sybil stories. They're so sweet. They have been very important to people. Buy raffle tickets. We're donating the proceeds of this raffle to Women's Aid. And we're also giving 20% of the sales of the new Sybil's to this charity to help their work with women who survive domestic abuse, both physical and mental. Thank you very much.